Detroit Lions fans on the Gridiron Blitz, hello. This is what I do on my other channel, the one that I decided to start because I ruined this channel by streaming, but I had something happen yesterday. I made a video from the car talking about the Detroit Lions, and it hit almost 2,000 views. And I started thinking that maybe it's time for me to come back into this space. I can do multiple streams of multiple teams, but when it comes to content creation, I can talk Detroit Lions. Now, this is my Syndicate background. I will be getting the Gridiron Blitz background, and look for more Detroit Lions content on this channel as well. Now, this video is separate from the Detroit Lions Syndicate video, but I wanted to talk to you guys about S.O.L. S.O.L is a term that means same old Lions. It is something that we have repeated for years and decades, what seems like forever. Before some of us were even born, this slogan was in play. And I know yesterday's loss feels like an S.O.L loss. And I think that you can equate it. In some cases, you can say that it was S.O.L. But to me, S.O.L is a culture. S.O.L goes deeper than how the Lions finish games or how they lose games. It's so many things that are involved in the S.O.L concept. The Detroit Lions have given us a form of PTSD when it comes to being up and losing and blowing games. It basically comes down to how the Lions can lose a game. How can you be up by 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes left and be terrified like I was last week against the Washington Commanders? Now, the same old Lions, they don't finish that game. They do like they did yesterday. But I feel that it goes deeper than that, that we have to talk about culture change. We have to talk about personnel change. We have to talk about the top of the food chain when it comes to Lions, and I think that is Sheila Ford. William Clay, same old Lions. Even Martha. Martha was kind of shaking that same old Lions, but a lot of things she did. One of the most egregious things that she did was fire Jim Caldwell. We are in the 5th year of the Matt Patricia era when he was first hired in 2018. So this is year 5. He got fired after 2.5. Darrell Bevell finished year 3. And then Dan Campbell's rookie year was year 4. This is year 5. We traded away Darius Slay. We traded away Quandre Diggs. We traded away Golden Tate all during his time here. He got rid of Jim Caldwell's team and he brought in 18 ex-Patriots. And with Trey Flowers, the last New England Patriot was off this team. Well, except for Riley Patterson. And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. That's the kicker we should have kept. Were you on the S.O.L train last year? At any point during the season, were you on the S.O.L train last year? For me, I wasn't. I was not. Everybody wanted to say it's year 1 of a rebuild. Now, some people say that we're not ready to compete. I disagree. I disagree with that. You can't say, if you say that we're not ready to compete, then how can we be S.O.L, right? I don't think that we're not ready to compete. Jared Goff said yesterday, he said that the team isn't on the way. They're already there. And I agree 100%. The San Francisco 49ers, the second year after going 4-12, they go to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that we're going to do that, okay? But why can't we be a good football team? Because we have a young team? Because we're in year 2 of a rebuild? We absolutely can be a good football team. The media said yesterday, after the loss, that the Lions were a good football team. They just need to finish. When was the last time you heard us being a good football team? We can be a better football team if we learn how to close out games. Some of it comes to personnel. Some of it comes down to coaching. And I think yesterday's loss came down to coaching. That's why we lost yesterday's game, coaching. Our defensive personnel is not that great. And now we're down Tracy Walker, but yet we find a way to stay in the game and win it. The 2 losses that we've had have been a combined 7 points. We lost by 1 touchdown, 2 games. That's the difference. That's how important it is to win in the National Football League. And that's why Dan Campbell, who apologized for his lack of confidence in the offense yesterday, knowing that he should have done that, that's why it irritates me to no end about his decision making. So S.O.L to me has not crept into my veins as of yet. And I feel like it's going to take a lot to bring me back to S.O.L. Now, do we have to finish games? We do. S.O.L is firing a winning coach. S.O.L is being overly involved in the ongoings of the daily activity like William Clay was. Sheila Ford is started to get rid of the S.O.L. no matter what you say about the Ford family, she has done more than her dad and her mom in her short time as owner of the Detroit Lions, starting with backing up her word of firing both Jim Caldwell and Matt Patricia by hiring some football guys, by hiring guys to help those football guys, and certainly the most importantly is getting out of the way, allowing things to take place the way they should take place. I do believe that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, with some learning, for Dan, he has to be better. He's in the second year. He's still making dumb decisions, rookie mistakes. He has to do better. But I think that these guys with their 5- and 6-year contracts are going to take us places that we haven't been since the 50s. And I think that these guys are going to get us a playoff win. But they're not going to get it like this. Dan Campbell said today in his press conference that if it's okay to fail, but if you don't learn from your failures, then that's when there's a problem. And he has to take his own advice. Has he learned from his failure? He was overly aggressive in week 1, not so aggressive in week 2, and it's like week 3, he just lost all sense of anything and just became a crazed lunatic when it came to the Detroit Lions play calling. So we will see if Dan Campbell takes his own advice and learns from his failures. We're going to see. We got a long way to go. And I'm not saying, listen, I'll just say this and I'll wrap the video up. In week 4, the Detroit Lions season is usually over. And we are very much in this thing. We have to finish what we start. We have to finish. We have to beat the Seahawks. We have to beat the Patriots. We have to compete and beat the Dallas Cowboys. We do that, we're 4-2, and we're right back in this thing. This is a wonky NFL year. Crazy. Good teams are losing. Bad teams are winning. And the Detroit Lions are everywhere, okay? So I think we have time to turn this thing around, and I agree with Jared Goff that maybe we weren't expecting enough of this thing. Notice the difference between last year. Dan Campbell said the wins will come. He said they will come. You don't hear any of that stuff this year. This year is we're right there. We got it one play, one call. Jared Goff said we're not almost there. We are already here. So I believe that too. I mean, 7 points combined, 2 losses by 7 points. That's it. Teams are getting annihilated, and we are 9 points away from 3-0. So, but that's just a game, man. Sometimes it comes down to 1 point. Sometimes it comes down to Jimmy G stepping out of the back of the end zone. I'm just saying. So let me know what you feel in the comments below. I'm not ready, y'all. I'm not ready just yet to give up on this team. I'm not ready to go down the S.O.L road. We still listen, we still got Jamison Williams waiting, itching, scratching, clawing to get back. And I think when he gets back, it's going to change the entire offense and turn this team around. We just got to survive in enough time for him to come back. And even if he's not back 100% by week 7, by week 12, 13, he's pulling Alabama numbers, man. Jared Goff just got to make sure the ball doesn't get lost in the sun. Anyway, this is Grid, man, and let me know if you want me to start making content. I usually listen to the analytics, and the analytical data says, hey, they like your Detroit Lions stuff, not your NFL stuff, not so much. So I'm going to try to get back into it. We're going to use this week as a test to see what it is looking like by this time next Monday. And if the numbers say make Lions videos, then you'll get a double dose of me talking Detroit Lions. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Lions. Did you realize